Hello everyone, it's Omae and welcome back to the brand new video. Today we're going to take a look at Treasure Map versus Rodo using accessible teams that don't use that Shirahoshi support that is on every damn team. We're going through the Intrusion and the final boss with no new boosters, only friend Captain Hyridine with no special ships. We are just using the anniversary ships here, and the damage is clean. The teams are easy to use, there's no stall. So let's just straight into the showcase. A few tips I have to give. Sanji needs level limit break 5, and he doesn't have to be level 150, he just needs that level limit break 5 upgrade. He will be removing the barrier on the final stage, which is quite important, and also giving us a chain boundary. Besides that, there's no investment requirement. No one needs to be limit break expanded or rainbowed. No one needs their potential abilities maxed besides Sanji. Once again, you do need to have his double special activation maxed, but remember, you can farm him on extra island, so it's very easy to get these copies to max him out. So have him level limit break 5, max out his double special activation, and also limit break expand him. He's a very high value character, so it's definitely worth your resources. But that's about it. Make sure the unit placements are exactly as is, because for the Intrusion, the middle left, bottom right, and top right gets binded, and yeah, it's very specific. Your units that are removing the bind need to be in a spot that is not getting binded, right? Of course, max sockets, mainly for binding despair, is really important for these teams. So I will have videos out for you guys. If you don't have friend Captain Hyridine, I will have videos using like your own friend captain that is self-reflected. But also, if you are struggling to find friend captains, I highly recommend to go into your friend list and favorite the friends that have Hyridine up. This will make all of your Hyridines show up on the friend list, which otherwise would not. It's a very important tip that was discovered by some very smart OPTC players. And it really does work, guys, trust me. So let me just set by boost effects here, and Hyridine is great for giving us extra damage. He also gets around, of course, the special bind. So if you are someone who is a very experienced team builder, you might be thinking, what is this hybrid, bro? Because Karasumole is mono, cerebral, and free spirit, while Hyridine is striker and powerhouse focused. So they don't boost each other. However, we do have the Sentomaru and the Sanji Reiju, which are both boosted by both captains. They are powerhouse free spirit and powerhouse cerebral respectively. Now, it's very important that you put Sentomaru there as well as Rodo on the right column, because on stage 2 your right column gets blown away, or your middle right and bottom right units get blown away for 4 turns, so that's not going to get removed anytime soon. Sentomaru is great for both of his sailor abilities. The first one gives himself blow-away immunity, and the second one is going to make quick orbs beneficial for your int characters. That's extremely important on the final stage for your damage, so make sure you have Sentomaru max limit broken to get access to both of his sailor abilities. So stage 1 here, just kill the turtles quite easily with the Sanji and Sentomaru. These characters are the only ones that get access to both captain abilities, so they have the highest damage. Stage 2, paralysis orbs, enemy damage nullification, and then the 4 turns of blow away to Rodo. We do not care about Rodo. His main purpose is being a giant tag character and being a 1.4x point booster. What we can do now is, since we have our Sanji Reiju in the Sanji form, which means they have the Straw Hat Pirate tag, we now have 5 tags to fulfill the requirement on Luffy's special, which will give us the color affinity and the 80% damage reduction. There is a death hit both on stage 2 and on stage 3, so this 80% damage reduction is quite important. The color affinity will last for both stages, which is also really important for your damage. Now we can swap into Reiju's form now that we no longer need the tag, and our Reiju and Sentomaru both will have type advantage, color affinity, and we have some decent chain buffs. So if you hit 4 perfects, you also get access to this 2x tap timing based attack boost, but very early on you really do not need that. We will also activate Karasumole here. the base attack boost will last for both stages, and then also Sentomaru. The reason we're using Sentomaru here and not on the final stage is that the enemy will give us super block orbs if we do orb manipulation with a special on the final stage. So Sentomaru is essentially useless in terms of his special, so rather provide more damage here, right? So that's about it. Your Sentomaru will be able to kill very easily. Same for your Sanji and Reiju. Later on, hit your perfects on those other int characters to get that tap timing based attack boost going, as well as the chain growth rate buff, right? So the final stage, we carry over that base attack boost and the color affinity. Recovery bind, it's fine, we don't care about that. We don't need to heal. The enemy will give the middle and top rows special rewind of 3 turns, going down to 2 turns after the preemptive. We get 7 turns of special bind to everyone. So the main trick here is that even if you are running Harudin, who is the intended unit to remove the special bind, he also gets special rewinded. Karasu Mole is the only character on the boosted list that as a captain will allow you to remove special rewind besides 12th Annie Shanks. But most people are not going to have him, but also you need to run 4 cerebrals on your team to get that special rewind negation from Shanks. So Karasu and Mole is way easier to use. They just innately remove that special rewind, which is nice. So now we can use Harudin's superclass to reduce his own special bind, give us a full board of recovery orbs, which he will allow us to perform super tandem with. And also he changes the orb modifier of it to 3x, which is way better than even 1 orbs. And then we can use his special, which will give the enemy increased damage taken. When we tap on Harudin with a recovery orb, he will give the enemy weakened status, which goes really well with the increased damage taken, of course. We can then use Sanji and Reiju's special. Since we don't have one of every type, they will not orb manipulate, which is so perfect, because if they did, it would cause the interrupt to activate. So it's actually good that we don't fulfill the requirement there. And then Robin's support, very important, gives Sanji Reiju a quick orb, which is not affected by the enemy's orb based damage reduction, which reduces damage by 80% for the units that have a recovery orb. But Sanji and Reiju is going to be doing full damage. And it's also really important, as I said, that Sentomaru has his Sailor ability. Otherwise, that would not be a matching orb on Sanji and Reiju. We still have burn, but we can kind of just ignore it. Just tap on Harudin to get the weakened status afflicted, which will give you essentially 1.7x extra damage. We have a chain lock from the Sabo support, which is really important. If you don't have that Sabo, you can also use Guernica, the CP0 that sabotaged Luffy in his fight against Kaido before he died. That Guernica is also a really good option for support, but more people will have the Sabo, and he's also a bit of a better chain locker, right? So that's about it. You also have access to the final tap of Karasu and Mole. Just be careful with your taps here. We do have Mr. 3 to reduce the death hit by 50%, but if you are very careless with your perfects, it won't be enough, right? So we're just gonna hit a good on Luffy, then on Harudin, and yeah, that kills very easily. After that, you would hit with Sanji Reiju. So I mean, you can see how much damage we were doing there with the characters that have the recovery orbs, which, remember, reduces their damage by 80%. So Sanji Reiju, just think about that. They are gonna be hitting like a truck with that quick orb. So that's about it for the Intrusion. I'm very happy with the point boost as well on this one. It's about 8.2x, I think, which is pretty good. Actually 10.67x if you're including the bird. So let's get into the final boss. This one is a bit harder to team build around with a good point boost, I think. I might be getting these teams confused, but who knows. Okay, now the final boss against Rodo himself. So this team here, as I said, Sanji is probably the most important character. Kashi is really just there to be a giant tag unit. He does give an orb boost, which helps with damage, but if you don't have him, you can just use Rodo. He's actually more points, if I'm being honest. Might as well just use him instead. But if you're focusing on damage, Kashi is better. But yeah, Rodo is going to give you way more points. So in most circumstances, just use Rodo instead. but I want to showcase the highest damage form of the team for you guys, and that Zoro support is not required by any means, really not. Just a teeny bit of extra damage it provides. These supports though, the Valentine's Nami and the White Pirates here, are also necessary. You only need this to have level 1 support effect for the bind reduction, so don't worry about using up all of your support medals. Valentine's Nami though needs to be maxed out. She's very valuable for both the bind and the despair reduction, and also the unit placements are crucial on this team. I mistook it. I said the intrusion is where we get the bind to very specific units, but it's for the final boss here instead. So for this team, we're actually using the mechanic from the new Albaf Luffy, the free one that everyone got. We're using his captain ability, which gives our Straw Hat Pirates the ability to cooldown reduce for the entire crew, essentially. As long as we have 2 Albaf tag units on the crew, Luffy himself and Hyrodine. There we go. And then we also have... Now, we unfortunately do not meet the requirement to get the color affinity from Luffy's special. Roger and Ace are both non... Albaf Arc / Straw Hat Pirate tag units, which will prevent us from getting that color affinity. Sorry if I'm speaking terribly, bro. It's too late. It's like 12 o'clock in the night. But so stage 2 here, our sailors will get, or crewmates should I say, get 7 turns of special bind. We're just gonna use Hyrodine special to remove that and also give the enemy increased damage taken. And the main reason why we're using Hyrodine here and not on the final stage for more damage is because we need to remove the enemy's hit barrier. The only way to do that is to give the enemy increased damage taken, so that's why we do that. And then we can also use Luffy's superclass to give himself a matching orb, and the kill is pretty easy from there. You also get access to Super Tandem thanks to that orb. Then on the final stage, Rodo will give you 10 tons of despair and bind, going down to 7 after sockets, so this is where it's really important to have those. We get the chain boost from Zoro, once again not necessary. We can use our Ace special for the first time to reduce 4 tons of bind, 4 tons of the burn, as well as give us an attack boost. Then the what's his face activates and removes a ton of bind. Sanji, this will give us the chain boundary, but most importantly, remove the barrier by a turn and activate the Valentine Nami to remove all of the bind. Now we can use Roger, which will remove beneficial effects. So yeah, Zoro is completely pointless actually. Just, yeah, don't have him on the crew. Don't worry about it. Roger just removed it anyways. Who cares though? Now we can use our Sanji. Since we don't have despair anymore, the Luffy captain effect will give our Ace cooldown when a Straw Hat Pirate uses their special. So as you can see there, very helpful effect. Now our Ace will remove the remaining tons of the burn, give us another attack boost since Roger removed the first one. We can then use Luffy's special to give us chain buffs, kind of unnecessary. If you are going for speed farming, don't waste time activating Luffy until you really need the damage. Same goes for Kashi, honestly. He's going to give us an orb boost, and then of course Hyrodine superclass will give us a full board of matching orbs, and you can perform super tandem with them. Very, very helpful. And also the orb modifier is 3.5x. I didn't even realize it. I thought it was 3x. So this is like the strongest orb you can possibly have. I don't think we've had an orb modifier buff that was above 3.5x. I mean, this is insanity, bro. Making recovery orbs this strong. And remember, you can remove hunger stacks with recovery orbs, so this Hyrodine might actually be insane, man. Really impressed. So we can just activate our chain here, and we don't have to worry about hitting perfect since we remove the burn, and as I hit a miss strike. But yeah, as you can see there, we still killed very easily. Like, the enemy's health bar disappeared instantly, even with a miss hit. So this team's damage is really powerful, and as you can see there, we are getting some really good drops from the treasure map, so very good changes here. I know newer players are struggling with the training drinks, so glad that the Bandai is making that change so that we can drop the large drinks every single run, right? So I'll see you guys in the next one. If you have a question or a complaint, or you need a replacement somewhere, tell me down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if the video helped you. Let me know, what do you want to see? I do have an account with full batch, so I can show you guys how that works. I mean, obviously it's gonna work well with the full batch, but I can still show you guys that if you want. Of course, as I said, teams with no new hierarchy as a friend captain. I also bring a team to you guys using some of the 12 any characters, some of the other treasure map legends. Like, I've seen how cross guild buggy strength treasure map legend can actually be pretty good for this. Same goes for the Rev Army rare recruits. So I could run a Rev Army team using treasure map legend Sabo, who is boosted, this Karasu Mole that I showcased today, as well as the rare recruits Koala and Hack. Those two are also pretty good for this treasure map. So yeah, it could be a fun video to go through. There's still a lot of time for treasure map remaining. And then, of course, we're going to transition into the Kizuna phase of the month. So that's also going to be very exciting. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And I'm out.